Hey, what's up guys, it's Kieran, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title, today's video is all about food. I don't know why, but I'm really loving these videos at the moment. I think they really inspire me to try out new recipes and give me ideas of things that I might want to try. So I figured I would film one. Mainly because this month I'm actually trying out being vegan, not for any particular reason other than I do find that I get quite bloated a lot of the time. So I want to see if cutting out dairy makes a difference with that. But I did just want to preface that, as well as being vegan for this month, I'm also a celiac, which means I eat a gluten-free diet. So all of the recipes and food that you'll see in this video is vegan and gluten-free for the most part. So yeah, I basically just want to talk about my weekly routine, my grocery shop, my meal prepping process, and also some go-to healthy recipes that you might enjoy trying out. So I hope you enjoy this video, and without further ado, let's just get into it. So I always start out my week, usually on a Sunday, by planning out the various meals that I think I'm going to want to cook that week, and then I will make a shopping list of all of the ingredients I will need for those meals. And then obviously I will go grocery shopping. So this week I ended up going to Asda. Okay, so for a quick grocery haul, for salads and veggies I got some romaine lettuce, some baby plum tomatoes, avocados, green beans and broccoli. Then I got some pita breads either to have with the salad and like some kind of falafel for maybe a lunch or dinner, but I also got it to eat as a snack with this reduced fat hummus. I also got these free-from pretzels as a snack because those taste so good, and they're actually also vegan as well as gluten-free. I then got some garlic stuffed olives just because I absolutely love these, and they also go really nicely in salads. And I got some of this berry tea just because I want to try it in the evenings to see if it helps me wind down before I go to sleep. Then for some other meal options, I got these soups. So one's carrot, ginger and red pepper, and the other is leek and potato. And then for breakfast, I like to have fruit and yogurt with a bit of granola, but I've already got mangoes, bananas and granola in my cupboard in the kitchen. So I just topped up on some strawberries and also this vegan yogurt. I've never tried this before, but I'm quite excited to. And then from the frozen section, I found these burgers that are vegan and gluten-free, and they looked so nice, so I thought I would just get them just in case I was bored this week of what I was eating, so maybe I could just whack those in the oven later in the week. And I also found this like breakfast burrito type thing. It's got tofu, hash browns and veggies in it. It's vegan and gluten-free, and I don't know, it just sounded really nice, so I thought I would try it. I also got some free-from mayo because, like I mentioned, I'm trying to be vegan for the next month, and I figured it was worth just getting some free-from mayo because I literally put mayonnaise on everything. I love it, and so I didn't want to cheat and do that, so I just got some free-from mayo. And lastly, I got some orange juice. So once I come back from my food shop, I tend to meal prep straight away just because then all of my food is ready for the week. There's no stress come Monday. However, I do not meal prep all of my meals for the entire week. I don't meal prep breakfast, lunch and dinner for the next 5 days. I usually meal prep my lunches for like 3 or 4 days in the future. And I usually base that off whatever I'm craving. So this week I was really craving green beans and broccoli. I know that's a really weird craving, but after a while, once you start eating healthily, you start craving healthy food. So I decided to do a really easy meal prep, which was veggies with homemade sweet potato fries and a source of protein. For me, that was corn. Unfortunately, I know they do a vegan corn, however it has wheat in it, and I can't eat wheat because I have a bad reaction to it because I'm a celiac. But the corn that is gluten-free has egg in it, so I decided to go with the gluten-free version, obviously, because I didn't want to make myself ill. But that was the one thing that I ended up cheating on this week in terms of the veganism thing. Just because I didn't want to limit my source of protein, I already have quite few options in terms of protein, so I went with the corn anyway, even though it did have egg in it. But anyway, in terms of the meal prep, I started off by cutting, I think, 4 sweet potatoes into like long batons. And I put them on a baking tray, and I put some chili oil on them, as well as salt, pepper, garlic granules, and I think mixed herbs. And I just kind of shook it all together just to make sure all of the potatoes were covered by all of the seasoning. And then I put it in the oven to bake for about 45 minutes. Sweet potatoes do take a really long time to bake. I put those in at the beginning because I knew they were going to take the longest, and then I prepped all the veg. I cut up my green beans and my broccoli, and I just put that on to boil for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then I ended up using the whole packet of corn chunks, put them in a baking tray, just put a little bit of salt and pepper on top, and put those in the oven for probably about 20 minutes. So then the last thing I did was I chopped up 2 red onions and I just sauteed them in a bit of chili oil, and they added such a nice sweetness to the meal. I don't know why, I just love red onions. So overall, a really healthy meal with a source of protein, veggies and healthy carbs with the sweet potatoes. And I also had something meal prepped for my lunches, which I find so much easier than having to come home and cook, because I go to placement in the morning, I come back for probably an hour during the day and eat my lunch, and it's so nice just being able to warm up my lunch in the microwave, eat it and then head back out to placement rather than having to make something from scratch. So I highly recommend doing that if you live a similar lifestyle to me, or if you're a student and you're in uni all day. It's so easy to just meal prep your lunch, take it with you, warm it up when you're there, and you save so much money and so much time doing that, so I highly recommend. The last thing I do in terms of meal prepping is I cut up all of the fruit that I bought for that week. So this week it was strawberries and mangoes. I just cut them up, put it all in a meal prep container, which by the way I got from Amazon. I can link them down below. I love these meal prep containers. But anyway, yeah, I cut up all of my fruit so that when it comes to the next morning, it's all ready for me, so my breakfast is easy to assemble and really, really quick. So that brings me on to what I actually ate in a typical day of this week. For breakfast, like I mentioned, I have fruit with a vegan yogurt. This was my first time trying it out and I actually really enjoyed it. It tasted basically like normal yogurt but with a bit of coconut in it, and I really enjoyed it. So I have the yogurt with mango and strawberries. I topped it off with this gluten-free granola which has raisins and coconut flakes in it. It's really, really nice. And the finishing touch is this peanut butter. Literally, if you have not tried this, I highly recommend. The peanut butter makes all the difference in this meal. It makes it so yummy. And I love this breakfast because it's such a balanced, healthy meal to start the day off with. You've got your fruit, you've got some carbs, and you've got some healthy fats with the peanut butter, and it tastes so good. Moving on to lunch, I had what I had meal prepped at the beginning of the week. I usually end up topping it off with a little bit of vegan mayo because I love mayo. I end up putting it on most things. And then for dinner, I made one of my go-to meals. I literally have this almost every week at some point, and it's so easy to make. So the first thing I did was I took the veggie protein balls and I popped those in the oven for probably around 15 minutes. And while those are being made, I prepare the rest of the meal. So I put some pita breads in the toaster and I cut up all of the salad that I want. So for this day, I had lettuce, tomatoes, red onion, olives, and avocado. And once everything is made, I cut open the pita bread, I pop in some hummus, the avocado, I stuff in all of the salad until it's full to the brim, and lastly I put in probably 3 or 4 of the protein balls with a little bit of mayo on top, because like I said, I love some mayo. It really depends on how hungry I am as to how many of these I make. On this day I made 2 because I was super hungry, but usually 1 is enough because this meal is quite filling. So yeah, that is what I had for dinner, and if you are anything like me, after you've eaten dinner you will crave something sweet. I have such a sweet tooth. However, firstly I'm finding that as a vegan it's quite hard to find something sweet that you want to eat because everything chocolatey is usually not vegan. But I did find these vegan gluten-free macaroons in Tesco and they actually taste so good. If you don't like coconut, you're not going to like them, but I really like them because I find that I can have one and feel completely satisfied afterwards. I don't feel like I need to eat the whole packet before I feel satisfied, and that makes a huge difference for me because I'm definitely the type of person that could crack open any dessert and finish the whole thing before I'm satisfied. So those are great, and they're only about 150 calories per macaroon, so I don't feel so guilty eating them. But if I don't feel like that, then a go-to for me is dates. I love dates. They're so sweet. They really hit the spot for me when I'm craving something sweet. However, they are very high in sugar, so if I'm going to have dates after my dinner, I usually only have 1 or 2. So the last thing that I'm going to mention is snacks. I didn't actually snack this day because I've made quite hefty meals, so I wasn't hungry throughout the day. But generally, if I do feel like snacking on something, I love chips and salsa at the moment. It's just a go-to for me. So I found these kind of healthier lentil crisps in Asda, which are just lightly sea salted and they taste so nice with hot salsa. So probably not the healthiest snack, but it is one of my go-tos. The other go-to is gluten-free pretzels. I tend to like something quite savoury or salty for a snack, so those are my 2 go-tos and I highly recommend. So that is basically it for how I grocery shop, meal prep and what I generally eat in a day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did then please subscribe for more, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!